Ain't it foggy outside? All the planes have been grounded. Ain't the fire inside? Let's all go stand around it. Funny, I've been there, and you've been here. We ain't had no time to drink that.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Sandman podcast. I am your host, Brian W. Tosh, joined as always by our resident hack checker, Oliver Fullington.
Yep.
Our producer and co-host, El Hilo del Hack, Tyler Fullington. And the man whose stories got stories, the hardcore icon. He's got 99 problems, but bananas ain't one. The Sandman. Hack, how the hell's it going today?
Dude, I am beat up. I am so beat up about hearing about AJ and Jalen and our passing game just all week, everywhere. It's shut up. We're winning games.
Well, that's Negadelphia for you, Hack. I mean, the media...
Yeah, even the national people were talking. I mean, everybody needs a story. You know what I'm saying? But, this one is such a non-story.
You think it's a non-story?
Well, yeah. Well, nobody has any... What's a reporter going to do except Dan Orlovsky's going to come on and say, well, Jalen is having a problem with him because he said passing was our biggest problem after the game, what AJ said. Nobody's got anything but the hot take. You know what I'm saying?
I don't think it would have been as big of an issue if Brandon Graham hadn't gone on Monday night and said, hey, I know Jalen and AJ were friends. Things have changed.
Oh, yeah, he stepped in.
Blah, 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 blah. And I think that's what skyrocketed the whole, passing game. Jalen. If it was just AJ after the game saying, what do you guys need to change? And him saying passing, we probably would have talked about it a little bit. And I don't know. I think we've all been talking about the passing game for the past couple weeks, how it's not been thing, but we've been getting by with Saquon and everything like that. But then Brandon Graham on Monday night goes on his show on WIP and says, yeah, I know AJ and Jalen were friends before this, but, I think things have changed. I think that's what kind of turned the whole...
And didn't he walk that back freaking yesterday?
He did.
Yeah,
I didn't hear his walk back. Did you guys?
Yeah, he just said, I was speaking from a place I didn't know about the situation and things like that. But,
oh, wow.
I mean, look, when you run the ball 35 times a game, you're only going to have, let's say, 20 to 25 pass attempts as a possibility. So the Eagles are running the ball a ton. That's going to be, and then if you break it down from, let's say you have 25 pass attempts, maybe 10 targets to A.J. Brown, that's not a huge slice of the pie. So I think that's part of it right there. Ali, I don't know what you think about everything.
I don't think AJ is necessarily mad. Like, he isn't particularly getting the ball. Like, I just think he was upset that there was no rhythm in the passing game at all.
There wasn't.
Because I saw, like, a bunch of people, not just AJ, but there was a ton of receivers open that weren't getting the ball. So I think just overall he was like, it's just a frustrating game. That's why he said passing, and that's what they need to work on.
I think that game was kind of the tipping point of frustration throughout
84 yards.
The last couple of weeks.
Throughout all the guys in the last couple of weeks. I think we had 88 passing yards this week, and we only had 110 the week before, and that's what our team's built on, and that's how we're winning these games, and we're running the ball. But after a while, you beat the Panthers by 6 points, and if Leggett doesn't drop the ball,
you lose the game.
Right. So AJ's like, yo, man, we got to fix this ASAP. And I'm actually glad that this happened so they can address it, nip it in the butt, and hopefully move forward. Now, I don't know if that's going to mean that things are going to change.
Or if AJ's going to throw, or if Jalen's going to throw 3 interceptions this weekend.
Trying to force the ball.
Maybe.
And this whole time, we've talked about it. I've been wanting us to, kind of lose a game before everything goes on. But now, I don't want to lose. Before all this happened, if we lost the Pittsburgh game, I would have been okay, no problem. But now, if we lose this Pittsburgh game,
So you're substituting this situation for the loss
well,
that you wanted.
well, no, not necessarily. But like, if we lose this Pittsburgh game after what had just happened this whole previous week,
Oh, the shit would have hit the fan.
and things don't look good, it could snowball down.
They could amplify it.
Bad. So now that's why I want to win this game. So it's like, that was all in the past. We can move forward or whatever.
I was more just kind of down on the defense on the game. Man, Thielen got open so much in that game. He was just like
He's
slipping.
good, man. He's an old vet.
He is. He was just slipping under our zone and getting open, and we couldn't get Bryce Young. I mean, we got so many hurries on him in the game, and it was just like we just couldn't sack him. I mean,
And they ran the ball well. Hubbard's a good running back, and they ran the ball really well on us the whole entire time.
yeah, they did. I mean, look, we got this game against the Steelers coming up here. You guys are going to be hearing this on Monday, so they'll already have played that game. I don't know how you guys are feeling about going into that one. I think it's going to be a tough game. At least it's home. It is a 4:00 game, so
There'll be a bunch of Pittsburgh Steelers fans there.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And it seems like Pickens is not going to play, which is huge.
Yeah, it is. It's
Which
huge.
is
He's
like,
definitely out.
You think
Yeah.
definitely?
His
yeah.
coach said he was doubtful today, and he hasn't practiced.
Yeah, so that means he's going to.
so, but that's their biggest threat, throwing the ball. So, and they like to kind of do similar things that we do: run the ball, play action, stuff like that. And if Pickens isn't there, I mean, they have what, Van Jefferson and
Mike Williams, Calvin Austin.
and Freiermuth as a tight end, but Pickens is the guy that takes the top off the defense, and that's huge for them. So we'll see what happens.
Dude, and they got are they the best team against the run in the league?
No, the Ravens they're up there though. But
Oh, we ran against them.
but
True. That is a great point, Nick.
I'm not scared. TJ Watt scares me a little bit, but Lane Johnson over there on the right side, and that's him and I'm interested to see that matchup all day long. TJ Watt and Lane Johnson, because TJ Watt doesn't move sides. He stays on that left side, and Lane stays on that side. It's gonna be a long day.
Well,
for
and the
all of
worst part about it is he'll be flushing Jalen to his bad side of the field. His hard
Good
throwing
point.
side of the
Yeah,
field.
right. Good point.
He's running left. He can't throw left.
No, he can't. So we'll see what happens here. Obviously, we are rooting for the Birds. Don't care for the Steelers very much in the side of Pennsylvania, but hopefully the Birds come through with a victory there today. On the show this week, we are reviewing. Oh, we got. What do you say, Hack? That's all.
I just wanted to see if Hack had any stories or any insight about
yeah, your weekend down in
about Louisiana.
Louisiana, down there for
dude,
Wildcat.
It was nice. I chopped it up with. Well, Luke's always great, but he was so busy because it's his show and everything. He had a great house, like 700, 800 people. And I just got to hang out with Bub and Devon for the first half of the show and just sit down and relax and watch the show. It was just bullshit. So it was really fun for me on that angle. And Mark Henry came through with my wish for Christmas. He said she'll be here the 24th at midnight.
And that wish would be one Mandy Sachs.
Yeah, that's her.
Anyway,
What, Tito Sabatelli is not going to be for the other?
yeah, whoever it
He's
is.
allowing that to come for Christmas for you, Hack? Mandy?
It's a lovely thing.
And it's
Wow.
interesting. I saw that you had your typical middle finger picture down with Mandy and all that other stuff. You know the one person that you taken a picture with that you have not put the middle finger up?
Kids, I don't.
That's nice.
Anybody else?
Uh-huh.
Mommy?
Oh.
Did I have a peace sign out for her?
Mark Mommy? There you go.
Wow.
Mr. Mark for Mommy over there.
Wow.
So
What?
Mandy Sachs doesn't equate to Mommy though.
Sure doesn't.
Mandy
Wow.
Sachs got the middle finger. Rhea Ripley did not get the middle
that's
finger.
a-
Hack was marking out like a mo on
I
that one.
do, and I ain't giving it to Tony either. Tony's back, baby.
That's right. Tony Storm is back. We were talking before the show about Tony's return last night on Dynamite. It was awesome.
I'm psyched to see her back.
Yeah, so am I. She's one of my favorites.
Yeah, I hope the time, like we were just talking before, I hope the Timeless doesn't go by the wayside because that's her best character, and we'll see.
No,
what
I
happens.
think it's gone just by the outfit that she showed up in. I think she's pulling an
No, but-
MJF.
But that's her. That was her previous character before.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah, her original character. That's her
Okay,
original
before
character.
she turned into the movie star.
Yes.
Timeless
Okay.
and everything like that. So she's bringing that back. she's bringing that back, and I think it's because of like a vengeance aspect towards Mariah. To like, you can't be Timeless Tony Storm and be like, you know, a bat out of hell trying to get like back at Mariah. I feel like this character is more fitting for that, and then we'll see if she brings back the Timeless at some point. Like,
so what did you think? Was she like was she Tony like a year? Because that's about as long as I've been watching.
She was always Tony up until she went to the Timeless.
Timeless?
Yeah, Timeless.
yeah, she was
I would say what, like 2 years?
I think probably a year and a half or so.
Yeah, right around there.
Yeah.
I would
Because
say
she
not
had
that
the
long
belt
time.
with it for a while.
Yeah, because I don't even remember as anything but Timeless.
Okay.
You know, just that character's memorable. You know what I mean? A lot of girls can just fall by the way. I wouldn't know their names, you know, from Canopy.
Yeah, well, she's awesome, and glad to see her back in AEW. Certainly can't
dude,
wait.
she's gonna. Business is picking up.
Yeah.
I was psyched when I saw her last
Yeah,
night.
that was
I
really
know,
cool.
we were down here and Haks like, oh! Tony's back! Yeah, I was like, what the hell is he screaming about? And he's like, Tony's back!
Marking out. I
She's
love her.
great.
She is. She's one of my favorite performers in the business. Like, period.
Easily.
Like, absolutely one of my favorites. I know she's one of all of ours. So, certainly great to see her
I know,
back.
it's
I
so
hope
great.
She kind of does a me, myself, and Irene with the Timeless Tony Storm.
Yeah, we were talking about that before the show too, where if you kind of did like Three Faces of Foley, you know, she kind of slips into these different characters.
dude,
Oh, you
Love
fuck, you
it.
hit her with a chair, she turns into Timeless.
Yes.
You hit her with a chair again, she's back to Tony.
Something,
Right.
I don't know. You could. There's
Like
something
the dude
there.
like
that.
Cactus Jack, Mankind
Yeah,
type deal.
there's something there. So I hope that she develops this out, and I think she's one of the best performers in all of the business. So very excited to have her back in wrestling.
For sure.
This week on the show, we are reviewing ECW Holiday Hell 1995. Hack, this was your
Santa didn't show up here. That's all.
Oh wow, Ollie the hater. He hates all the age stuff.
No. I wasn't talking about it like that.
Oh, okay,
Saying
okay.
It's too violent for Santa Claus.
Oh, that's why. Okay. So this was your guys' first show in the New York area. What did you remember about your debut here in the New York region? Nothing. Okay. There was a cool clip of you as the show's starting, and you're
answer.
yeah, typical answer. I don't know why I asked. Typical answer there, but there was a cool clip at the start of the show where you were just like out partying with the
And
friends.
I remember that jacket too, the old like green black ECW
yeah,
jacket,
yeah.
And then you had the gray do rag, of course.
Yeah, you're just out slamming beers with the fans out front of the show. It's
That's
like,
what I would do.
I know, but that's so awesome. I'm just like, man, that's so cool.
Dude, that's how you gotta. It's the fact that everybody knows the Sandman at your corner bar. You know what I'm saying? And that helps bond you a little bit more
Right.
when you do shit like that.
It's about the connection with the
Yes,
audience.
absolutely.
And doing things like that are the reason why you're still
Yeah,
getting
you go out there and
bookings.
party with them. They're like, oh my god, this is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah. I do have a note here from the 1/2/96 Observer. So Meltzer was doing kind of like a breakdown of predictions and some news about all the different big wrestling
That's
companies.
answer.
We should
this
do this
show.
off everything that we talk about.
Okay.
Let's hear what Meltzer
That's
I tried throwing a little-
That's post show, isn't
So
it?
it is, but the Observer would be reporting on the shows that happened like, a week or two before. So this is a little bit.
Okay.
But this was his predictions for the year in 1996. And this is what he said about ECW. There has never been a small promotion in the recent history of wrestling that has garnered as much attention as ECW. Although the group has yet to sell 1,500 tickets to a show in its history, its influence on the business is unbelievable. He also said, its house shows probably set the standard for United States in 1995 and may, with less talent, come close to hold its own with many of the larger worldwide groups. It's the only promotion in the world in 1995 that was able to create so many characters that at least got over to a greater degree to its core audience. In some ways, I see parallels between ECW and UFC when it comes to the audience. The core audience of both groups love them. However, for each group to grow, they may need to go away from the style the audience loves so much into something that would be more marketable. So this is Meltzer in 1996 talking about ECW and where you guys were at in terms of an influence for the industry. Were you feeling this at the time, Hack, as you guys were out there performing?
Yeah, once you see other companies copying and what you're doing, then you just know you're doing something good.
Right, and this is similar time when you guys are starting to get rated at different talents here, right? The PE is going to WCW shortly after this show. Austin's going to WWF. Cactus is going to WWF. You're seeing,
Guerrero, Malenko.
right, all these guys are getting lifted at this point, And so now the influence is really starting to show that ECW is cultivating in the industry. So I thought that was a really cool note.
And it was funny because, like, the start of the show, me and Oliver were watching it, and I'm like, kind of speaking out loud, but I'm kind of like brushing Oliver up like a little bit, and I'm like, man, this is 1995. This is an independent show. This is kind of crazy right now. Like, looking back on it, like,
First show in New York.
First show in New York ever.
First show in New York ever. Like, it's a gymnasium. You see basketball nets, like, in the background.
Everywhere.
But that place is packed.
And it's rocking.
And they're going crazy. And they're going crazy. Like, I'm just talking out loud, but I'm talking to Oliver, just kind of trying to make him realize, like, man, and, like, making myself realize, looking back on it, like, man, this is something that doesn't happen.
Right.
You know, like, doesn't really happen. And I know that in my head, but I don't really know it. I'm, like, retelling myself almost at that point. And, like, Hack was going to New York like a big thing for you guys? Like,
for me, no, but well, maybe for me, yes, because a lot of our guys were from New York, so for them, maybe it's no, but for me, yes. You know what I'm saying? Because we weren't getting on planes and shit like that at this point, like every other weekend or every weekend.
No, but like,
It's just like, dude, we're going somewhere else to perform here. Like,
yeah, we're making it.
Well, they're saying
they're
saying the last show was in Glen Olden, PA.
The one before that.
Yeah, it was literally in Glen Olden. Yeah, it was in Glen Olden, PA.
The night before.
yeah, so it's like you guys are just traveling around Pennsylvania at this point.
Yeah, we're doing flags. Jim Thorpe. We're doing a Maryland show or a Delaware show, an ECW show, an Allentown show. You know
So I actually have a note about that Glen Olden show the night before. This is from the Observer.
Raven didn't break his leg, right?
Okay, then no, Raven did not break his leg, Stevie.
I believed it when he said it. I'm like, no wonder I won the match.
Oh, he got you.
The note from that Glen Olden show: Austin and the Heavenly Bodies were pulled from the show by WWF. There were several complaints that the Glen Olden show the night before about Austin and Bodies no showing, and those who asked for refunds were told that since ECW provided suitable replacements, who were JT Smith and the Eliminators, that they wouldn't be given refunds. What world is JT Smith and the Eliminators a suitable replacement for Austin and the Heavenly Bodies at that point, who were a pretty
If
big
I'm not
tag team?
mistaken, every single wrestling poster at the very bottom in small print said what?
Card subject to change.
Yep.
Well, that was a card subject to change for sure.
Don't say you're getting your money back if the card changes.
Yeah, you were supposed to wrestle Austin on the show, and unfortunately he had strep throat, apparently, and this was one of his last dates for ECW, and he didn't make the show. So what could have been there? Could have been a singles match between you guys. The show started off with Joey Styles in the ring, and the crowd was just, like you said it, Hack, they were rocking and rolling all night. Like, this crowd was so into the show.
They were trained by the Philly crowd. The
Yes.
Philly crowd trained every crowd from 1994 to now.
Yeah, no,
They really did. They changed the experience of being a fan.
Yeah.
They made it Rocky Horror Picture Show interactive.
They did, and
And Philly and New York are so similar.
we hate to admit it, but we are.
When it comes to fandom and sports and wrestling and everything, the whole Northeast, but Philly and New York,
literally.
but Philly and New York a lot, and it's just so crazy in 1995 how a New York crowd had never seen an ECW show live, but had been watching ECW TV, VHS, every day, late night, 2 a.m. or whatever it was. And we'll see throughout the show, like, they are with every single character and every single plot and every single thing. It's in 1995.
Yeah, this wasn't the case of like overexpanding and an audience not getting the crowd. This audience knew everybody, and we'll get to that earlier in the show.
And this location is like right outside, like Center City, New York. So you guys had to be like Dude, I'm about to go before him. Literally, like
The Lost Battalion.
right in
It's right
New
off
York
Queens
City.
Boulevard. They were saying that.
I know. The thing was, a lot of our regulars weren't in the front row. Once I heard we were in New York, at first I'm
Mary
thinking,
Kate was.
Mary Kate was.
yeah, but our hat guy wasn't there.
No.
The fucking the other guy with the dreads wasn't there. I didn't see Meltzer there, or not Meltzer, Shearer.
Sure.
A couple of
Meltzer
the
would
other
go
guys.
to some ECW shows, though. So Joey Styles was in the ring to start this one, and he was putting over ECW's debut in New York. And out came Stevie Richards and the Blue Meanie, and man, they were so great. Richards was awesome too. Meanie was doing like his little dance, and then Richards was like, "Get out of my way! You're hogging my TV time." I loved all his lines. The crowd's chanting a lot of great stuff at Richards, and then ringside was your girl Hack, Missy Hyatt. She was spotted in the crowd, and then Richards was like hitting on her. She looked like $1 million here, and it was really awesome.
Oh yeah, it was 30 years ago.
And Hyatt was not really into her, but then Stevie said that he could get her a date with Raven, and so then she made out with Missy, and Joey sold that like $1 million.
You mean no? He made out. Missy made out with him. You're calling Stevie a she here.
I'm sorry, Missy.
You pulled a me.
You're pulling a hat. Yeah, that whole segment was a hat.
Right, so what I would have said was that I thought she was never in an ECW building until she debuted with me. Was that a year later?
It was a couple months later and stuff when you guys got together, but not too far. It was in '96, so we're
you
right
didn't
there.
pull her out, Hack. That wasn't your charm that pulled her out. That
Missy
was Stevie.
She was fresh off a WCW lawsuit, so that's why she was in ECW here at this point. She was old friends of Paul, so it just
What
made
was
sense.
the lawsuit?
Sexual harassment.
Good job, Mike.
Harassment?
Harassment.
Jeez.
Man, I'm botching all over the place.
Yeah, somebody.
All
We
right,
need
here
a
we
timeout on
No,
our
no,
host
no,
over
no.
here.
We'll do some
How
editing
now,
there.
brown
We'll do some
cow. How
editing there.
now, brown cow.
The opening match here, we had Taz.
He's trying to talk right through us. When he tells, don't talk over.
The opening match here was Taz with Bill Alfonso. They did a turn at November to Remember a couple weeks before this, and now you got Fonzie with Taz. It was just a beautiful pairing right there. And he was taking on Koji Nakagawa. So this was an awesome squash match, I thought. Taz looked like $1 million here, man.
Yeah, he was jacked.
He was jacked, and this was just like a perfect squash match. Koji bumped his ass off for Taz. He did get a couple shots in, but nothing really. And Fonzie was fantastic in this. Like, I loved Fonzie pre-match. He takes the mic from Gertner and he said, "I introduced myself," and he put himself over great in this. Like, I loved this for what it was. It was just a very short, simple squash. Ended with the Taz mission. Not really a match, but I absolutely loved this. I thought it really got Taz over. And
Taz's punches were the shits. They've always been the shits, but I'm not like burying him. I'm just saying that. And then at the end, after he hits him with his whatever the name of the suplex was or whatever, why throw him out of the ring? You leave him there as Carnage while you stand there over him and cut a little promo at the end. You know what I'm saying? I was always a big fan of Carnage. If you're on the sometimes you want to leave a guy alone in the ring, but other times, like Taz right there, he should have left him right there laying at his feet. It's a psychological cinema thing.
Yeah, I think it was more or less. I somewhat agree with you, but I think it was more or less like get him out of the ring. I want to focus on me and Fonzie type deal.
Yeah, but if you're a killer,
but right. So like that's what I'm saying. Like I somewhat agree with like what you're saying. The best part of this was Fonzie alluding to the choke being illegal already in the very beginning of the show, which will in turn up later in the show. But he's already motioning that the choke and the choke slam is illegal right now through the Taz squash match.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome, and then
I didn't even pick that up.
I loved it, and they're already hyping up Taz and Sabu, and they're saying Sabu is scared to face him. So think about that. You have an 18-month build before they ever get in the ring together, which is awesome. So I can't really give this a star rating. I don't know.
And it was a Vince thing when they came back. You know what I mean? Paul. All right, here's the thing. Sabu was known for, back in the day, double booking himself because his uncle told him, dude, you could, if you're good, You can say, screw that one guy, and I'll go for this guy, but you always have two options. Sabu was utterly and thoroughly known for no-showing people because he would double book himself all the time. So he definitely got that date filled. You know what I mean? So that's how this whole thing started. Paul knew that Sabu was booked in Japan. That wasn't something that happened after the match was made up. Paul knew that, but Paul worked that and he probably knew the finish at the end too. You know what I mean? The finish 18 months later.
And I'm sitting there watching the match with Oliver, and they're chanting Sabu, 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 and I'm sitting there, I'm like, how great is this? These guys aren't even close to touching yet, and they're chanting Sabu. How great of an angle is that?
It is, because when you lead the audience in a direction, they're going to want it themselves, you know, and that's the total
And they're not
case.
even close to touching. That's how great they created. Like,
That's a really good point, Ty.
Like those two leading up to Barely Legal, they weren't even close to touching yet. Like, for those fans in 1995 to be chanting Sabu, Sabu, how? Because you can't go back and look at clips on the internet, and you can't go back, like, that is like straight heat that those fans wanted, and they're not even close to touching.
It was like WCW when they did the Sting thing and what's his name?
Hogan.
They let that let that run and run and run. They did the crap finish, but it's the same thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I can't really give it a star rating because it's a squash match. Any shots for this one, Hack? Are you going to do a shot for this?
Yeah.
Wow, a half shot. Okay, half shot. All right. Up next on the show.
And I'm only doing that because Shaw's on the card. You only get a shot when Shaw's on the card.
Okay, well, on the show, I mean, this may be... I'm going to go out on a limb here, and look, it's been a while since I watched my Hack Myers DVD best of matches.
You got to get in there.
But I think this one might be the greatest Hack Myers match of all time. We have Hack Myers taking on JT Smith here. Man, this was so much fun. I enjoyed this match a lot, and I don't know if it's just because you've been doing the Shaws on the show, Hack, but the crowd in this is probably peak Hack Myers overness here, too. The crowd for everything is doing the shit and the Shaws. I love JT Smith calling himself, what was he, the Italian Stallion?
Yeah. He made Gertner re-announce him as the Italian Stallion.
He's like whispering in the ear of Gertner, too, which was hilarious. I love this. This was just like a fun... I don't know. What did it go? Like 5 minutes, Ollie, this match?
4 minutes 30.
4 minutes 30. It was a fun 5-minute little ECW undercard match. They did a bunch of brawling, and then, I don't know, there was a little botch. What was it? A botch moonsault JT Smith does before the finish, which was totally like intentional because he's doing the botch gimmick.
Yeah, he went up. It was a I'm a big buffoon. Yeah.
Yeah, he's playing into that at that point. And then Myers...
He looked great, too, by the way. That was
did.
the best
Yeah, he
JT
was
has
cut.
had. Dude, he had like an 8-pack down there.
I
He
love the
looked
leather jacket,
great.
too, yeah. It was a good look.
It was cool. I didn't like him because when you have two matches in a row and people are going up to your ring announcer and shit like that, that's a little overdue to me. You know what I'm saying? But I had some overdue, and we'll talk about that later.
The finish was the Hack Myers, like, what is it, like a knee kind of, like, it's almost like a pedigree kind of thing, like that.
Yeah,
Something like that.
And that was the finish for the 1, 2, 3. I mean, I'm going to give this 2 Shaws. I'm going to go 2 Shaws for this. Ollie, how many Shaws are you giving this one?
I'll go 2 shots.
2? He's giving it 2 Shaws.
JT bumped his ass off. So
He did.
I'll give him that too.
He did.
Shah!
2.5 Shaws. Ty, what do you give this one?
That's a 5-shot classic.
That's a 5-shot. Yeah,
That is
see?
a 5-shot classic.
And they could have done more.
If
They
you
could have.
They left a lot on the plate.
if you watch this match after a Taz squash match, this is your typical opener. Short, sweet, to the point, constructionally great, finish good. Boom.
5 Shaws. 5 Shaws.
Shot,
Okay.
dude. Shot,
love it.
dude. Hack Myers and JT Smith put on bangers. I think I'm like around a roughly average of a 4.5 shot rating when those two are in the ring. They put on you put them in the beginning of the show. They put out bangers. It is what it is.
I thought a banger was a sausage. Isn't a banger a sausage in Europe?
It is, Hack, but that's...
That would be a glizzy.
yeah, that's
Okay,
also
a five sausage, a five glizzy, a bukkake, whatever. Hey, well, that's what five sausages. That's what five sausages will give you, a bukkake. So,
Up next on the show...
Man, he's rolling right along.
I can't follow that. That's what he said. All right, up next on the show, this was Mikey Whipwreck taking on Too Cold Scorpio. The weird stipulations in this match where you have Mikey defending.
I love it.
You like it. The guy defending the tag team titles by himself. It's a little weird. I mean, I guess it's cockiness on Too Cold's part here. But you puts them both on the line. And Hack, how did you feel about your tag titles getting changed here?
Dude, I had always wondered how I lost them. I had no. If you asked me 2 weeks ago, 3 days ago, 4 days, I had no idea how I lost them.
Okay.
So I didn't really lose them.
You didn't.
But either way, who cares?
So I originally-
Paul wouldn't want us to lose. He doesn't want me to lose. It's weird. I don't care about losing, but Paul, that's him kind of protecting me right there. Keeping me from me
Well,
and
'cause you're the
Scorpio
heavyweight
have
champ.
to do a tag team. Yeah, exactly.
right. I see. I thought the stipulation at first, which I loved way better, was the one tag champion offers up the opportunity to lose his half of the tag team belts. So, like, if Mikey won, then
He'd be
he
partners
would be.
with Hack?
Then yeah. See, that's what I thought originally, and that's the stipulation part I like. I don't like the if you lose, then you lose both belts. I like the part that if you lose your half, and then that person becomes the other person's tag partner. That's what I thought it was
That went
originally.
through my head too.
That's what I thought originally, and that's what I liked about it. But then it was like, oh no, he gets both belts, and I was
But
like,
when
oh, that's
Cactus
not
came
great.
out and pretty much confiscated the other belt, that's when I figured it out.
Yeah,
I,
right.
I took it as like Too Cold so cocky that he's going to win this match, and the way he works this match too, like he's got Mikey beat like dead to rights, like pretty early in this match. He just keeps doing like high flying stuff off the top rope. But I enjoy
That's
this.
old school 70s shit. I don't like it because that, to me, whenever somebody did that, that was a forecast that they were losing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're showing your hand there too much.
Yeah, it's kind of like kicking out on 2.5 when you're really being pinned. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those things.
Yeah. I thought this was fun though. Like I enjoy the work here. Mikey's always crisp. Too Cold is like so good, and all the high flying moves that he hit, man, he hits every single one of them perfect, like perfect
Dude, he's
picture
precision,
perfect,
dude.
like perfectly executed.
I always told you guys this.
He could have done without the turnaround splash. Because it's like, how do you go from a moonsault and the tumbleweed to just the...
He should have done the 450 then. That's what I was kind of expecting instead of the turnaround
That's what I
splash.
thought too.
But he did the turnaround splash.
Yeah.
just so
I'm like, dude, I could do that.
Well, no,
So
you should.
anticlimactic.
If he did that first,
Start with that one.
right? If he did that first, then the moonsault, then the tumbleweed, then the 450. But you can't end with that. You know,
Yeah, it's like
Or have it in the middle.
right? Something. Yeah, that was interesting.
you know, that was the only weird thing.
you nail the reverse, the backflip leg drop like flawlessly, and then you like
And didn't even touch him.
and then you go back up, and everyone's like, "Oh shit, what's he gonna do now?" And then he does the turnaround splash. It's like, oh,
Yeah, you might as well went and put an arm lock on.
They did a
Let's get an arm lock now, boys.
they did a Super Hurricane Rana and then a schoolboy roll up, and then there was this really awesome spots where Scorpio knocked Mikey into the ref, and then Mikey went on top of the official, and then Scorpio went up for a splash, and then Mikey moved, and then so Scorpio splashed the ref, and then he was just beating on him, and then Cactus ran in, gave him the double arm DDT, put Mikey on top, and then he got the win. I enjoyed this for what it was. I really like both these guys. These guys are two of my favorite ECW guys of all time. I'm going to go 3 stars for this one. Ollie?
2.
2. Hack?
Sha!
3 shots. Okay. I thought you were going to go 4 shots for this. I mean, this is your friends here. You're the...
Nah, they left a lot on the plate. Those guys could have had it. I've seen them have way better matches.
Yes, I agree. But 3 for me. Ty?
I'm gonna give it a 4. I
You're going
think
4.
Yeah, I think constructually the way that it was done, everything that Hack says they have a better match on the table, which I agree. but that doesn't mean that I can take away from the work that they did put in. I don't think there was any bad part of it. Like I said, I thought it was done well with Scorpion, the champ heel. The work that he was saying, he could have pinned Mikey a couple different times. Then Mikey does his fight back here, there, this, that, the other. Scorp ends up cutting him off, and then Cactus in turn takes it at the end. Thought it was very good.
No, and after the match, Cactus Jack is throwing up one of the tag team titles with Mikey Whipwreck, and then Whipwreck gave his tag belt back to Scorpio, and then Jack threw him down with a clothesline, I think. Pretty sure that's how that ended.
Clothesline over the top.
Clothesline over the top rope. Yeah. Okay. Up next on the show was the Eliminators coming out with Jason taking on the Pitbulls with Franny, and my God, Franny here at this point. Wow. Wow. Yeah. I mean, what? What else can you say, man? I mean,
cheeks were peeking.
Yeah, they were peeking. But this was a cool match, actually, between two of. I think we had both these guys on our Mount Rushmore at some point for the tag team. But
you did.
I did. Yeah, I'm a Pitbull Mark. I am a Pitbull Mark. But this was good. I mean, it was a long match, but it really picked up at the point when they did the total elimination spot to the outside. I don't know if it was Pitbull 1 or Pitbull 2. That took it to another level. And something about these Eliminators matches, too, when you go back and watch them, sometimes you got to have the context of the time that they're in. Like, the Eliminators, I get some people are harsh on them, but for this time period, man, they were super over and innovative, too. Like, a really, really innovative team.
Yeah, they put... So, there was a total elimination in the ring. I forget whether it was to Gary or Anthony, but it was a little bit different than what...
Gary took the eliminations. Anthony didn't take them. I mean, Anthony took them. Gary didn't take them.
It looked a little bit different than the total elimination that ended up being before. Like a different variation. Like, they were, kind of semi, drop kicks to the end when it ended up evolving into, the back leg to the head and the back leg from the bottom, so that caught me a little bit off guard. I thought this match just ran a little bit too long for me.
How long did this one go? 17?
16.
Yeah, this was a long one, but I think it did pick up.
My middle note is please go the fuck home.
Literally. Yeah, it just got to a point where I was like, all right,
It
guys.
started out strong.
It did, and I thought it had a good finish, too.
Yeah, but then it's just a cluster. It's just a straight cluster, and then it's such a cluster. Jason is late for the finish. Remember when he went to shoot him in the reversal? Jason's supposed to be up on the apron right now, but he's not. So the Pitbull has to turn around, and he just gets it, and then they have to re-loop it again.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then Jason was up there for the finish.
Well, poor Jason got his bell rung probably 100 times in this match. He was trying to run away from shit, and they were like, nah, get over here. Hit him with a chair. Hit him with this. Hit him with that.
With the cookie sheet.
Yeah, he got
good.
He got a lot. Pitbull 2 for the finish goes on the outside to suplex Jason on a table, and then that left his partner alone, a total elimination for the finish.
And they missed the 3 count. Dude, did you notice how many things that the cameras were missing? Because
the cameras focused on the outside
great yet. Ron and Charlie ain't great yet. You know what I'm saying? So just as green as some of the guys are in the ring tonight, even myself included, those guys were just as green.
True. Now that's a great point, Hack. For this match, I enjoyed it for what it was. I'm going to go 2 stars for this. Ollie?
2.
Hack?
Shah!
2.
All right, I'll give it. Yeah, I'll go 2 because I like the finish, even though it got botched the first time. But I did like the finish. It just went a little bit too long for me.
Yeah. Up next on the show, this was supposed to be Tommy Dreamer taking on Raven in a no DQ match, where the winner's going to face Hack later on. But Stevie Richards and Meanie come out again. And then Richards tells the fans that Raven can't compete because in Glen Olden last night, he broke his leg. So,
I actually believed him when he said it. I'm like, oh, no wonder I beat him in this match.
Got him!
it's
And I was there.
the funny part about this bit is Meanie's like whispering to Richards what Raven's injury actually was, and he's like making it up on the fly.
They did a lot. Meanie and Stevie did a lot of work in this show.
Oh yeah, they were all
They
over.
were busy in this show.
They really were, and they're both great in their roles at this point too. Like,
yes, they are fantastic.
I love the idea of a lackey having his own lackey too. Like that's
that's the best.
That just
well, you know where they got that from? I want to say the Yellow Submarine.
Yeah,
Is that
Beatles.
what? Yeah, that's where they got that whole situation from.
Yeah, it's so creative and really really awesome. They then Dreamer comes out and he's not buying it, and then Meanie went to go attack him, and then we get
Meanie's throwing great punches here.
Yeah,
and you never really seen him throw because Meanie salts or he gets beat up or something. You know what I mean? But Meanie's throwing great punches.
I literally said that at the time. I was like, even Meanie has great punches. Like in this company. Like,
it's like,
because we always talk about how everybody had great punches. It's like even Meanie has great punches.
And how many? I mean, he hasn't worked that much in this company.
He don't work at all.
Right.
I believe Meanie was trained by Al Snow, correct, Hack?
Yeah.
He was Al Snow trained.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure Stevie and Raven noticed him somewhere in Pennsylvania wrestling and just like got the idea to bring him in. So
Right, but at this point, like I don't know how many or if any like singles matches or anything he's had in ECW, but
Dude, I'm trying to even. I don't even think he's ever. I think he's been a straight lackey.
Yeah.
Or a tag.
no, but like we'll find out
Six-man,
later.
whatever.
It's like you're gonna face my blue meanie. You
I
know,
probably
one of those
wrestled
type
him
of things.
3
he's
times.
probably-
And he
Right.
beat me all for it.
No, but yeah, like Ollie said, Ollie was like, dude, even the meanie has great punches right here.
no, it's true. This match was not really much of a match. Dreamer turned it on him real quick, hit him with a jumping DDT off the ropes for the pin, and then next.
No, hold on. Another Finnegan bump. There's another bump here. Is this like Finnegan's third bump at this point?
Of the night? Yeah, it might be, yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and then it happens again with me, and I'm not happy about myself even doing it.
I don't mean to backtrack, but speaking of refs, what was it?
There was the old guy, the old heavy guy.
The heavy
The
guy with
old
the hair?
blonde.
I didn't even know he was.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I was like, I've never seen that ref before in my life, and I think he worked one match, and I don't think he worked the rest of the show.
No, I think he worked the was it the Mikey and Too Cold match, I believe?
That or that, or
The
or
matches
the
with no
JT
bumps.
Smith and the JT Smith and Hack. Yeah, I just meant to ask about that ref because I never Hack. Do you?
No, because I was racking my brain. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I was
dude,
like-
wait he looked familiar, but
But sorry,
No,
continue.
he was around for a coffee, cup of coffee.
Well, speaking of cups of coffee, this Dreamer and Stevie Richards match that went like seconds as well.
Great finish.
Richards tried to jump Tommy, and then just boom, planted him with a DDT, and that's it. And then Raven enters, and I love how Raven comes in the ring. Dreamer's about to pile drive Beulah McGillicuddy, and then Raven just throws, it looks like a shelf kind of thing at him.
I didn't even know what the frick that was. It was like a medical shelf that you see in an insane asylum.
But I loved it because it's just a different weapon.
Yeah.
And it starts...
And he's lucky he just caught him with it.
Yeah, it starts the chaos of this match. This was just a complete brawl, and it's like a crowd walking brawl. And this is fun. Like, this is part of the reason the crowd came for ECW here.
You're in the first row sometime during the night.
Yeah, and you bring weapons too. I loved all the different weapons they brought. The one guy with the cheese grater, Raven, gets busted open pretty big on that one. And there's little, just like, you could tell, Hack, when you have a fan handing you a weapon, how do you, in your mind, like, where?
I wouldn't use them. 90% of the time, I wouldn't have nothing to do with it.
Dreamer
Really?
loved it.
Okay.
Yeah, that was his thing.
Oh, but speaking of which, the fans bringing the weapons. Anthony grabbed like the toilet bowl cleaner and was rubbing it in front of his face. And I was like, dude, I'd be like,
Who knows
dude.
where that toilet bowl or clean? Oh, I was thinking, wow.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
saw that, I'll be like, dude, no way. All right, I'll take
I would cut him
anything.
off right away unless it was a brand new one that you would know.
Yeah, I was like,
If
dude,
I don't see his price tag on it, you ain't touching me.
I'd rather you hit me over the head with a vacuum cleaner than wear that
Put a
fucking
toilet
toilet
brush
thing in
in my
the face.
Before they go outside,
Yeah, Bob Kotz, this pink eye the week after that, I just remembered.
before that, with Raven put Dreamer on a table, and he didn't like that. I love that he does like a top rope jump kind of thing. It's like the most athletic thing I've ever seen Scotty do.
I knew it was coming. As soon as he put him, I was like, is he going to do the over the rope, just like body flail on him? And that's what he does.
It's a body flail.
Well, that's Scotty trying to be like extreme.
Yeah.
That's his idea of extreme.
That's his extent of extreme.
Absolute extent.
They're doing some brawling, and then, like I said, Dreamer busted him open with the cheese grater, and then he licked the blood off of it, which I was just like, ugh, that is gross shit right there.
Pussy.
Oh, God. And then Dreamer's busted open, too. They're just brawling through the crowd, and then they go outside for a bit. You can tell it, like, snowed recently, too, for the brief minute that they were outside.
I thought I saw a little snow fucking falling through the screen there.
There was snow on the ground.
There was snow on the ground already. Then they brawl back in. And then inside, they do a ref bump. And then Beulah McGillicuddy, she's got the hairspray out. You just know it's coming in Raven's eyes. You just know Raven's getting
the setup with the head behind the head. I mean, come on.
You know.
I've done the spot with Tammy and Chris.
I knew it was coming.
Yeah,
I think
everybody.
you might have. I might have done that spot.
Dreamer then hits a DDT, and then, man, this is just like a lot of.
Well, he sprays Raven, then Raven DDTs Stevie. Stevie's trying to help him
he
out.
doesn't know who it is. He's
Right,
reaching
well,
around. Love that.
I'm just like,
Yes.
Explaining what's going on. Stevie's trying to help him because Raven's got his eyes blown up, and he DDTs Stevie, and then
There's the tree of woe with a ton of low blows.
Well, and then Tommy DDTs Raven, then DDTs Stevie, then DDTs Raven, then DDTs Stevie, then DDTs Raven.
And he looks like he's a little winded at this point, too. He hits like 6 DDTs there.
Yeah, he's
He's
blown up.
blown sky high. He never did fucking cardio ever. Ever.
Then there's
Anthony never did cardio ever. Gary would, but there's some guys that just wouldn't ever do cardio.
Were you a big cardio guy?
Not as much as you.
No, we got the cardio kings here.
That's right.
I was fucking upper body trying to pump. That's it. Okay. I was like Rick Rude. My legs were like skinny.
Well, it's an upper body business, you know. Tommy's about to pile drive Raven on like a piece of the table fragment left over, which I thought was pretty
was
cool.
horrible. The way it was too small. It was on the bottom rope.
I like that though. It's just like I like using the, and you did it in your match too, when it's like the pieces of the table and using them further. I always like that. I'm a big fan of that. But yeah, it wasn't the best pile driver. And then Finnegan gets bumped again, which is just like, again, how many ref bumps are we talking here?
Well, it's Raven using the ref as like a lackey. Like he kept pulling the ref in front.
Right.
Like it's not just like your typical ref bump. Like Raven kept pulling him in front.
Yeah. And then the heels jump Tommy 3-on-1, and then Dreamer was able to fend them off, and then just Raven hit him with the DDT on a chair. I thought the ref bumps in this were like totally egregious. You know, I just think that they were just way, way too much. It was fun for what it was, but it went a little bit long. I'm going to give it 2.5 stars. Ollie?
2.
Hack?
As a roll through segment, I gotta go sha 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 sha.
Shaw? Ty? What do you give it?
I liked it. I thought it was like 3. Yeah, I'll give it around a
3?
3.
Okay. Up next on the show was Bruiser Mastino taking on El Puerto Ricano. What a match this was. So, Mastino was best known as Mantar. Any memories of Mantar? You guys, did you know that, Hack?
No, I was gonna. My first question was: this dude is a huge beast.
Yeah, he's
huge.
He is a gigantic man. He actually got his start over in Germany for Catch Wrestling Association. So that was Otto Vance's company over in Germany in the 90s. And then he came over as Mantar. Mantar, Ollie, do you have any memory of Mantar? Do you know of Mantar at all in the business?
No.
Okay, I got to show you Mantar after the show.
Dude, I didn't know Mantar.
Okay, I gotta show you guys Mantar. It's one of the worst gimmicks of all time in WWF. It is an absolute horrible, horrible gimmick. That's the reason why ECW had to happen. And I think it's the reason why he's on this show, because the fans are just chanting at him, Mantar sucks, Mantar sucks. This was not really much of a match.
Wasn't supposed to be.
Yeah, it wasn't supposed to be. And then Mastino took him down and then caught him with a power slam for the finish. I can't give this a star rating. You going to give it any Shaw's hack?
Yeah.
A quarter
A
shot.
quarter shot there. After the match, Mastino was beating up on him until 911 came out of the ring and then choke slammed him. And then he got in a shot. Mastino got in a shot before 911 gave him a choke slam. Bill Alfonso then came in, blowing his...
Before we do that big boy got up for the choke slam
He
a couple
did.
different times. Yeah, because 911 struggled sometimes with other dudes, with bigger dudes and choke slams. That dude got up a couple times, so I got to give him credit.
I think that's why it took so long to get him up. They had to get the timing perfectly right on it. 911's like, you sure you're ready?
yeah, probably. But no, he got up because he gave him what, two or whatever. But yeah, he got up both times. Like good
They
height.
jostled with each other for the first one, and I'm like, what the hell's going on here?
Yeah.
It was like 10 seconds of like positioning.
Well, because
Whatever.
usually 911 grabs like the tights or like grabs the guy's like belt buckle or anything like that, and he didn't. That was like straight, like hand on throat, grabbing his hand, and like both went up.
Yeah. So then Fonzie was in the ring blowing his whistle, and then Commissioner Todd Gordon took him down. I love whenever Todd's doing something physical.
Dude, listen to me. Todd is like freaking the nasty boy, Brian Knobs. Todd is like, he's like all hell breaking loose. I'm ready to fight.
I thought you were gonna say like Francine and Beulah the way this thing.
Oh, dude, I know, but Todd's ready to go. Todd's like, I'm ready to perform.
Okay. And then Taz came in, and 911 was just kind of like just taken aback a little bit. And then he finally stepped in with Taz going after Todd Gordon. And then you get the big Taz and 911 face-off. What a dream match. And then 911 was not selling anything from Mastino. And then it just looked like the locker room emptied out, and then was just that. And then Mastino was going after our boy Hack Myers, and then 911 for some reason gave a chokeslam to JT Smith. This was an ECW
Cluster.
Just chalk it up to ECW. What do you got to
Was
note here?
Bubba out there?
Bubba, they were coming out there, and then that's kind of leading into the next match with the Dudleys. So we're out there, and then Bubba was doing a little bit of a dance, which you sent a video of this week, Hack. You're just
Great.
Bubba Ray's dance was hilarious, absolutely awesome. We got to put that up on our social media.
I thought you guys did.
Oh no, we didn't throw.
But no, and they're like, "What's your name? What's your name? What's your name?" The crowd, like we said, the crowd's there the entire time with the gimmick, every gimmick.
And they're chanting, "Buh, buh."
But yeah,
It's so good.
The only thing I didn't like is the meanie chokeslam at the end. It's like after the is this what? Or am I on the right page right here?
Yeah.
Yeah, after the two 911 choke slams, and then whoever choke slam Meanie, and Meanie gets up like 8 inches.
Big Dick. It was Big Dick.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that for who for what? After 911 choke slamming that monster,
Right. It doesn't mean the same thing.
No,
and you're doing
no.
it all in the same segment.
especially with Meanie.
Right. It's kind of like the redundancy there a little bit.
Yes.
So the match is between Bubba Ray Dudley, and they got dances with Dudley, Sign Guy Dudley, Big Dick Dudley, all the whole Dudley entourage there is out. And this is like a squash match. He kicks out of Meanie's moonsault, which was interesting. And then he went up.
Meanie barely hit him too.
He did.
He overshot him.
He did. And then he went up for a Bubba bomb, and then Big Dick hit him with a crutch. And then Bubba just put Meanie down with a splash for the finish. This was not really much of a match. I can't give it a star rating. Do you give it a Shaw, Hack?
Yeah.
Half a Shaw there. And as Hack said, after the match, Big Dick Dudley got in the ring, chokeslam Blue Meanie, and then Bubba Ray hit another splash off the ropes. And then Richards got back in the ring, and then he was talking to the Dudleys, like kind of putting them over, trying to be cool with them, because the Dudleys were like within Raven's flock at this point. And then instead of coming in the ring, Bubba just left. So I guess you're building up to that for later. It was kind of whatever, this segment. Up next on the show was the ECW World Championship match between you, Hack, and Ty, your real dad, Raven. This was...
I had the greatest hair ever in this.
You look like
Dude.
Buck.
I do?
You look like CJ with that hair.
Dude, it looks like I look like the guy from, what's the movie, Back to the Future. I look like Christopher Lloyd. Freaking getting shocked when he comes out and freaking...
Yeah, that's CJ with the hair
My
going there.
hair's like out.
You got like a
I got it blown
blowout.
out.
Our
Our
younger brother with CJ with the hair going everywhere. I mean, you'd have to look back at it and look at it. I'm like, dude, that's Buck. We call him Buck. That's his nickname. But yeah, I'm like, that's CJ right there.
And I love how it's like a bleach blonde too. It's you look like $1,000,000. This is one of your best fits that you had going on with the do rag. I love the Sandman shirt. Like that's my favorite Sandman shirt ever. And the Zubaz, and it's just
Were my Zubaz tucked into my socks or something? I didn't like that look.
So you were originally supposed to work Steve Austin, but he had signed with the WWF and he had strep throat, so he missed the show. And then so that's why they did the whole convoluted Tommy and Raven thing. But following the match that they had where they were brawling around the building, you guys, I don't know, man. This match, we talked about the one that you had a couple of weeks ago in the show, and that match was way better than this one, I think. This was, I don't know. I mean, you guys did some good stuff. You were on offense a lot of this match, Hack.
Yeah, much more. Dude, because I love, that's why I like working with a Van Dam or a Sabu. I like guys that have a lot of offense.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just my style.
Yeah, and like, I mean, your offense, like, you did a bunch of your signature stuff, and you did a little cool stuff with the table on the outside. I did.
All right, dude, who picks up a table and soup? People can't pick up a table and put it in the goddamn ring.
Right.
I just snatched the table in the center, pick it up and superplex it over my head in like 5 seconds. How do these people have so much problem with tables?
I have no idea. No idea. One thing I did love about this is when you first came out, too, Joey's talking about how he used to not like you as an announcer, and then he's like, if there's anyone who's the epitome of ECW, it's the Sandman. And then you're just doing your entrance with woman, she stands on the chair, and you're smoking your cig and drinking the beer, and I'm like, man, that is absolutely the truth, Joey. Preach on there, man. This match, though, like I said, I don't know. It just wasn't really top Raven Hack match. I don't know, Ty, what did you think of this overall?
I don't know. I was entertained throughout the entire thing. I mean, it was your typical Hack Raven match when it got. I mean, think about them on the outside of the ring. Raven shooting Hack out. Boom, guardrail, and you could tell they're calling the spot. You called Hacking a couple times on the guardrail. Then then they called reverse. Raven's like, yo, reverse this. I don't know. That's a typical Hack Raven match if I've ever seen one, but I'm more in it than most people are. You have your ref bump again, and then you have your meanie, you have your Stevie, you have everything
Tommy.
like that. Yeah. Tommy comes in. I don't know. If anything, I thought it was your typical Hack and Raven match, if you ask me, and I don't know. I was entertained.
Ollie, what do you?
Yeah, I mean, it was entertaining to me. You always see like your typical hack table suplex.
Leg drop on the top, or I put him outside.
The guillotine leg drop.
Yeah.
It looked like you almost tore your ACL on that one.
I liked when he was sandwiched in the table and you went for that like elbow, and Raven just moved out of the way. That was a good spot.
I didn't know he was moving.
You didn't know he was moving.
No, that's all off the cuff right there.
I also like the one thing about your selling, and you always do the hand shakeout sell for your
Greatest seller
punches.
of all time.
But your hand shakeout sell, I love how one point you're selling the hand, so then you just give Raven a kick. It's just like I wasn't expecting for you to throw a kick at that point. And it's like, oh no shit, you're throwing a kick because your hand hurts. Like it's just little things like that. I always appreciate with your performances.
That's with you over the side, running, jumping over the top rope onto the other side of the guardrail, hitting him with the cane. That's showing some shit.
Okay, that was a great spot. Okay, all right, maybe I'm coming around on this match.
I
a little
can't
bit here.
believe none of you guys called. You guys didn't catch me saying let's go home.
Let's go home.
Yeah, I forget after what spot we did it, but yeah, I can hear it clear as a bell.
Well, no, it had to.
The ref.
Was it when
had to have
Cactus
been.
came out?
It had to have been before the ref spot because the ref spot's the key to go home.
Yeah, right.
When
Oh,
you go
that-
when
it
you
was like
when
a
you
minute before that.
well, yeah, when you shoot into the corner, to shoot into the corner, to shoot into the corner, to come back
You
to
gotta
the
be
for the
ready,
ref
yes.
bump. Yeah, well, I didn't hear you say "let's go home,"
Yeah, I
but that's
just
your
covered my back.
going home spot because that's when the interference
Yeah,
comes.
when
Yeah,
I'm talking, I'm doing like I'm always covering my mouth so the fans can't see me talk.
right.
Interesting. Okay, so for home section here, there was the ref bump that we talked about, and then in came Richards. They were double teaming you, and then Dreamer ran in, and then Dreamer was hitting you, and then had to give a pile driver to Beulah because, of course, you got to get a pile driver to Beulah.
Hey, you gotta pay it off.
You got to pay it off. And then out comes Cactus Jack. He gave you a double arm DDT. You actually kicked out of that, and then you gave him a bulldog, and you kept the belt. That was a bulldog finish. I mean,
I was flat.
yeah,
It was flat. I got to, my notes are too many ref bumps. My bad. Tommy was great. Finish flat.
yeah. I'm gonna go 2 stars for this one. Ollie, what do you give this, bud? Let's see here.
1.
1. Wow. How,
Sha.
1.5. Oh wow. Okay.
This definitely wasn't my best work, or all ours best work.
I agree. Ty,
3-star.
3 star. Okay.
I actually really liked the finish up until the bulldog. That didn't make any sense to me. The bulldog,
Off the top rope.
Yeah,
never done the spot ever in my life. It had to be a Scotty spot because I had never done it before and had never done it since.
Yeah,
Okay.
that whole thing didn't make sense. But the going home part was very good. The bulldog I didn't really get, and everything else I thought was fine. The Tommy interference, all the timing, everything like that, I thought was fine. So
Yeah. Up next on the show was the Gangsters taking on the PE. So it looks like the Public Enemy were headed out here at this point, and the crowd at first was chanting, please don't go to them. They're going to WCW at this point. And this was originally supposed to be Public Enemy taking on the Heavenly Bodies. Tom Pritchard left for the WWF. He was then Zip of the Body Donnas. So this match was then changed to the Gangsters. The Gangsters were actually fired from ECW at this point and then brought back in. So this was kind of like their return here. Because apparently New Jack got into a fight with Dudley backstage. Do you have any memories of this, Hack?
I don't know. Dude Jack just flipped on him. I'm pretty sure it was in a Flagstaff.
Flagstaff?
Yeah.
And what, Jack just went nuts on him backstage or something? Or
Jack pulled a Jack.
Jack pulled a Jack? I mean, okay. Yeah. But he ends up...
You work on somebody weaker than you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay. It doesn't sound like a good moment there for him. So this match, I mean, it's what you're expecting with a Gangsters and PE, man. It's just going to be a brawl. Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed this for what it was, even though this wasn't like peak PE here. They're kind of moving on in the territory, and it seems like, I don't know, I didn't think this was like their best work. There was a cool spot when Rocco Rock kept trying to moonsault Mustafa. I like that. And then Mustafa got a table out to break finally with a slam. And then Johnny Grunge and him did a 2-on-1. And then Mustafa.
Yeah, it was a cluster.
It was a cluster. I mean, you're talking about the PE and the Gangsters here.
But they've always been clusters, those matches.
Right.
You know, they have. It's not supposed to be pretty. That's the part of ECW. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? It's not going to be a hip toss in that match.
No. And that's not what the fans were expecting either.
No, they wanted blood, and they wanted them to go through the crowd and bed, so everybody got a chance to be in the front row that night.
Yes.
That's that match.
That's exactly what they wanted. And then the referee was distracted by Johnny Grunge and New Jack, who were fighting on the floor, and then Jack clocked Rock with a chair, and then Mustafa used a schoolboy for the roll-up. I don't know. This was a brawl. I didn't think it was great, and just kind of...
you got to figure, if the PE's...
it's not a match.
Right, the PE's losing, right?
They have to.
And they're going on, and the only reason that they got that job was because Kevin left a couple months earlier, and then he got the book up there. So Kevin was the one that pulled the PE right out of there. But the problem was the PE couldn't get over in WCW because the upper tier wasn't letting them get over.
Yeah, and they also couldn't do a lot of the PE stuff, right? Like, they didn't have the music. They couldn't do the tables as much and as often. And it's not like they couldn't work. I mean, Ted Petty, fantastic worker all over the world. And I got to ask, too, Hack, like, as a worker, when you're getting the "you sold out" chants and stuff from the crowd, do you think that hurts, like, people's feelings at all or anything? No?
Because when usually you sold out, that means your paycheck's very free, your bank account's very healthy.
True.
That's what that means.
Okay, I mean, I hear it. And
You know what I mean? You don't hear you sold out for somebody to go from, like, when Austin went from WCW to ECW, WCW people weren't chanting you sold out.
No, well,
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's different demography, whatever.
I feel what you're saying there, but to me, it's like it's an insult to the performers to chant "you sold out" when somebody's making a better life for their family. Like,
But yeah, do they say it when, like, all right, so when Bryce Harper signed his big contract and left Washington, when he goes back there, do they yell "you sold out"?
they boot him.
Or yeah, they boot him, but it's not a "you sold out" thing. You know what I mean? They boot him because they know you're doing what's good for your family.
Right. Yeah. I know.
Are the Yankees going to be saying that to "you sold out" when the Mets play the Yankees?
They're going to be saying much worse.
And throwing a lot too.
Yeah, that's going to be wild there. With the Soto stuff, man. I don't know. This wasn't really much of a match. I didn't really care for this
That wasn't
one.
a match. It was a brawl.
Ollie, you give this a star. I'm going to go like 1 star for this.
I'm not even giving it a star because it's not even really a match. It's just it's entertainment. That's for sure.
How long did this one go? This was like 10 minutes?
8 minutes.
8 minutes. Okay.
Thank God.
It was a long
thank
8.
God.
What do you give it, Hack?
Shot.
Ty.
Yeah, 1 just because they put their bodies on the line, but it's not even a match. It's you can't really give it a star rating just because it's not a match. I mean, they ring the bell and then they beat the shit out of each other. It's not supposed to be a match.
Right. Yeah, that's what it is. Up next on the show, Cactus Jack taking on Sabu. So Cactus started this one off, and I love how he's doing the mic work. At first, you think he's going to be a babyface, and he's telling the fans that WCW sucks and that he helped an ECW fan in a wheelchair get to the show, and that he's talking about how he's going to have
That was
this.
a true story.
Was it really?
Yes.
Oh wow! Okay, that's pretty cool, actually. I mean, I know Foley's a great guy, so.
But you
Well,
don't-
it's the same kid that Terry Funk always used to get the cane from in the corner.
Okay. Wow. All right. That's awesome.
But you don't remember drinking beer in New York in the snow with the jacket on, but you remember that as a true story of him helping him out.
No, I mean it's the memories he has. I
Yeah.
mean, you got it. Yeah. So I love how he transitions in the promo and he's talking about how his match is going to make dreams come true because it's going to be an Olympic style amateur wrestling match. And then he brings out NCAA referee John Pee Wee Moore. And then he's going over the rules, and Sabu has this look like, what the heck is going on here? And then that's just like a time killer, I guess, because then out comes 911, of course, chokeslams Moore, and it didn't get a huge pop that I think that they were expecting for that. I don't know if you felt that too, Ty. Like, just for whatever reason, it didn't get like a...
Yeah, the whole thing just didn't hit.
Yeah.
The whole, like, because Pee Wee's selling it like, Sabu, you got to get on the ground, and he's showing him, like, to get down in the wrestling stance, as in, like, you know, you get down on all fours, and then, you know, the other guy gets on top of you, as in, like, the Olympic wrestling... excuse me, the Olympic wrestling style. And 911 came out, and it just... And I don't know if it didn't hit before because 911 had already been out, you know, previously, once or twice, or... Well, he came out to Taz, and then he came out... or no, Taz was the same thing as the other big guy. So, yeah, he had already been out before, so it was kind of like... I don't know if it didn't hit because of that or it just didn't hit because everyone's like, okay, well, you're not going to do an Olympic-style wrestling match.
Yeah.
Like, we don't give a fuck.
And I didn't like, too, that Joey, the entire match on commentary...
He kept going...
saying.
Negative point, 2 points. I was sitting there saying, I'm like, Joey, give it up, man.
Dude,
like,
the joke
give it up.
The joke didn't land the first time. And then he does the joke like 8 more times on commentary, and I'm like... it wasn't, yeah.
It didn't hit. It was, I don't know, a couple minutes into the match, and I'm like, Joey, give it up, man. Like, give it up. But he's like, -2 for a hit.
And how about,
I'm
sorry, and how about 911 as a special referee?
Oh my God! It takes him 3 seconds to get down on the mat just to count 1.
He's still faster than the AEW ref that fucking gets down there. He was still faster than the AEW ref.
Al, you can't have a worse guest referee
Than 911?
Oh, I know. I'm sitting there. I'm like, who decided to make 911 the guest referee? The guy can't even get down and count. Oh, it was brutal.
Yeah, but I think it's the whole thing that 911 is the one kid that is big enough to take control of these 2 savages. You know what I'm saying? I think
right, but he should have been like an enforcer and like had somebody else referee.
Yeah, this wasn't it. And I've seen some great Cactus and Sabu matches. I think this one was just okay. The finish itself was super flat to me. So Sabu's going for his Arabian facebuster, and then Jack goes to slam him, and then Sabu just fell on top for the finish, and that was it. Like, I was shocked by the finish, and then it was just kind of like, what?
I actually was watching, and then like I didn't expect anything to happen in the match, so like I turned over and I like went to like grab something or whatever, and then I hear like out of the corner of my ear like 3. Oh, and that's it. And Sabu I was like, wait, what just happened? I was like, because they were in the corner, and I didn't
it twice.
I didn't expect that to happen like at all. Like I was, because you watch a match and you're looking for your dull times. Like I was like looking for something. I reached over to like grab my phone or grab something, and it was like, and that's it. I was like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah, and I'm not sure if this match didn't work because of the story of Jack not wanting to do like a hardcore match at this point. Like, because I know he's intentionally doing this anti-hardcore gimmick and stuff, and not really wanting to do it.
Well, that was the only way for Cactus to turn heel, which was absolute brilliance. When Cactus wanted to do the heel turn, which I'm thinking he knows he's going to WWF maybe at that point, whatever the hell it was. But it was so brilliant by Cactus to come up with the only way he could turn heel. And he turned heel on the fans saying, I'm not going to kill my body for you people anymore. I'm not going to do this anymore. And it was just such brilliance, and I was such awe of him for that character. And then he comes out with the shirt that says Cactus Jack wanted dead or alive. Great. But that with the Sacco and everything and the Mankind, Cactus is brilliant.
Yes, he is.
Yeah, but the thing was, he was changing it. He was changing in that match, but it was still a hardcore match. Like, nothing changed in that match.
No, it just wasn't enough to me.
No, it was Joey trying to put it over as a collegiate wrestling duel.
Well, that's how Cactus wanted to portray it, but from the
they never did anything to even remotely come near that, a point situation.
Well, no, the ref was trying to tell Sabu to do this, and 911 came out and choke slammed the ref and said, no, this is not a collegiate match, you guys are wrestling. So that's where the misconception, like, and then it was an ECW match from the minute 911 became the ref.
Why was Joey trying to still sell it the whole time?
That's the point. I don't know.
Beating a dead horse there.
Yeah, he was like trying to make jokes, I guess, whatever, and it just was not working.
He sounded pretty analytical to me. Well, half-ass analytical, like shit.
No, but he's like, oh, well, what's a leg drop? Is that -2? Like, he kept going with it, and it's like, dude, it's not.
It wasn't.
Yeah.
For this match, though, I got to give it 2 stars. It wasn't anything special, but they're just all-time guys, so I can't get below that. Ollie, what do you give it?
2.
2? Hack. Let's see how many shots this gets here.
Shah! Yeah!
Is that a 1 3/4? Is that it? Am I protecting that?
There you
I'm
go.
pretty good at picking up on the shots. So that's 1 3/4 shot. Okay. Ty, what do you give it?
I give it a 3. I mean, to be honest with you, I was actually entertained throughout. Sabu's a fucking psycho.
Yeah, no, it's
literally he's a fucking psycho. I was entertained throughout the whole thing. Now the collegiate wrestle thing that they tried in the beginning, completely and utterly fucking botched. But the match itself, I was completely entertained throughout the whole thing. Besides the finish. So
why
yeah.
are you dying laughing, Ollie?
Because it's just the Ty's point, like, about Sabu being a psycho. It's just, I don't know if I've seen somebody hurt themselves more, like, self-inflicted during a match than I always see him, like...
Well, it's his birthday today, so happy birthday, Sabu.
Oh shit! All right, happy birthday,
Yeah, happy
Sabu.
birthday.
Loser.
There you go.
No, yeah, that dude. I mean, and I've always said it. He's the most innovative wrestler of all time. Me personally, I think the way that he came up with spots and maneuvers and everything like that. But the guy's he's just entertaining as shit to watch. You can't not watch what the hell is going on. And he did I don't know.
Well, you didn't watch what was going on. You turned to pick up your phone and missed the finish.
burying him. Wow.
But dude, that was you put a hoop up. I got to jump through that hoop.
No, I hear you, man. Overall, though, guys, what did you guys think of Holiday Hell? I'm going to give this one. This is I had fun watching it, so I can't. I'm going to go with 2 Sha for me for this one. Ollie, what do you give it overall as a show?
Yeah, I'm gonna go 2 Sha. You know, I went a lot of 2 Shas on the show, so
Yeah,
I have
to steady 2
I
shots.
have to stick with the 2 Sha.
It's a 2 Sha.
Is that a new rap song? I'm gonna give it 2 shot.
Yeah, go 2 Sha.
Maybe we'll make one.
Hack, what do you give it here? A lot of friends on the show.
Sha!
That's a 2 Sha tie. What do you give this one?
Sorry, I don't know. I was looking for my phone.
Oh, God.
Dude, that's a 4-star show for me. A 4-star house show. But that's an entertaining ass show for 1995. To me, I can't go wrong with that. That's a 4-star show. Considering a lot of the lackluster shows that we've watched, like back in the day for ECW, that was a super entertaining show. A lot of like great matches, other than like a couple of the squashes and like shit, nitpicking shit that we had. Honestly, for 1995, that's a fucking awesome independent show.
Yeah, I always I have fun watching these shows, even if I don't give them like really high scores, because you got to picture ECW at this time period and what it meant for the industry. And go back to what I said earlier about that note from Meltzer. It's like ECW was driving change in the wrestling industry at this point, and this was a really important show for them breaking out in the New York market. So I had fun watching it.
I mean, dude, if I was in that audience in 1995, I would have went home straight up money's worth.
Oh, totally. And you would be like, I'm going the next time they're coming to town.
Oh, yeah, because I was on the show.
Well, but like 100% money's worth. Money worth. I mean, I don't know what the tickets were or whatever, but
$20
like back then,
ringside.
Yeah,
like
$20, $25.
whatever. But that was entertaining as shit.
Yeah.
That whole entire thing. If you were at that show,
Oh, dude, if I wasn't a wrestler, I would have been at every ECW show at the arena, and probably would have traveled up to watch him in New York too. I would have been a total super fan.
No, it's a fun time
I would have
period.
ended up getting beat up by all of them at some point, probably.
and I thought
Somebody outside.
and generally speaking, I thought the work on the entire show was actually pretty good. Like match wise and story wise, like conceptually, I thought it was really good.
Yeah, absolutely. Guys, got a couple notes here for you, and then we're going to hit our listener questions. 1221 Suplex Vintage Wrestling, 628 South Street in Philadelphia.
Where do you see these new T-shirts?
Well, we got them out on our social media right here. We are releasing our insane double-sided print Sandman T-shirt. This thing is amazing. Mike sent me some more pictures earlier. We are also doing a live Q&A down at Suplex. Come and meet us, hang with the show, participate date. Check out the shirt, and then there is a party afterwards with the Suplex Crew and the Sandman podcast. This is an absolutely unique experience to be with Hack, myself, the boys, the Suplex Crew, talk wrestling, enjoy some holiday cheer. There's going to be an amazing collector's gift package for anyone who wants to attend the holiday party and get the shirt. I'm telling you guys, you cannot miss this. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Get there on the 21st of December. This is going to be a great night.
Dude, and all this merch and everything that we're handing out is one of a kind. Never been done. Nobody else has it. So if you're coming here to get the t-shirt and everything, all the other goodies that we got going on. Yeah, all the other goodies we got going on, a little surprise there, then you guys got some one-of-a-kind merchandise, and you can come out here, meet us, talk with us, bullshit, hang out, ask any questions you want.
Smoke some dope.
Dude, literally, this is your time to come out and, have a good time.
Yeah, absolutely. Cannot wait for the 21st. It's going to be a fantastic event. And don't worry, if for whatever reason you're not in the tri-state area, you're afraid to take a drive, we are going to be putting the pod up as well.
So we got...
We might even go live that night. I'm going to talk to Mike about that.
Oh, okay. Oh, all right.
So,
yeah.
Tosh, do we have like times or anything that we
5:30 for the live pod, 7 o'clock for the party.
Okay, and we can look for further information on our social media and the Suplex Vintage Wrestling social media. Keep following that for more information.
Absolutely. Next week on the show, we are going to be covering WWE's Saturday night's main event. This is a pretty packed lineup for the return
All right, Jesse.
to network television. I'm glad you made mention of Jesse because I got a note here about Jesse. I just listened to Jesse on Bill Simmons' podcast this past week. It was a fantastic interview. The things that he has done in the business and show business, he is a one of one. And politics. Unbelievable guy, Jesse Ventura. Excited to hear him calling some matches again, too. That's going to be really fun on Saturday night. And I'm also excited for the Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes match. I think that's going to be a really fun one. So.
Oh, yeah.
All right, you guys are such haters.
Darn it.
I'm a big fan of that feud.
Regurgitation.
All right. These guys are regurgitation. I love it. As always, send us in listener questions to sandmanpod@gmail.com. Please leave your name and your city, because that's a Hack requirement here, guys, okay? That's something that Hack needs, because Hack, you like to hear where these people are from, ultimately. That's part of...
Dude, you have to understand something. Where you grow up in the United States basically formulates you as a human being. Like, if you're growing up in Southern California or you're growing up in Ottumwa, Iowa, you have a different perspective on the planet. That's the reason why I like to know who I'm talking to and where they're from.
Well, and that's why Hack answers the questions the way he does, because you'll either A, understand what he's talking about, or his answer will reflect on the fact of whether you know this, whether you don't know this, whether you're supposed to know this, or whether you're not supposed to know this, whether you're brushed up on this, or whether you've not known, like, I don't know what it's like to, what's going on in the Midwest of the country. Like, I've only lived I've lived in Utah, but I was younger. But basically,
I'm so in the news. I know if you're having flooding in your area. I know if you're going through a drought. I know the shit that's going on in the United States.
And you've been everywhere, too. So that's another reason why you... First up here is Inbred Ed from Shinston, West Virginia.
All right, Ed.
First off, I also love the Shaw rankings. Keep them coming. Shane Douglas, I'm a huge fan, but I know he's not for everyone. I've had excellent interactions, met him a ton just a few days ago in West Virginia.
Did he talk to you for an hour and a half?
So this is his next line. Seems Sandman has respect for him, but he can be a lot at times with not getting a word in. Those opinions always crack me up from other pods. How was your experience in the ring with him as far as work and style goes?
Two Different Style was so long ago, and he didn't want to put me over for that. That was the biggest thing that I ever had with Shane. Like, he was your typical, like your Stu Hart, your Nick Bockwinkel, your Harley Race kind of worker, you know what I mean, kind of guy like that. And I was a brawler, you know what I mean? So it's two different styles. and he really didn't like my style at all, and I could care less about his style. But we had a couple matches, and I mean, I took the belt from him, and that's all I care.
Oh, there you go. All right. Thanks for writing in, as always, Ed. Up next is Ian from the Canary Islands.
Ian.
Hack asking if anyone knows where the Canary Islands are.
Yeah, they're off of South America. They're off Africa, right? A couple hundred miles.
There you
west.
go. He said Hack asking if anyone knows where the Canary Islands are in 3, 2, 1. That's me getting the cane of the week.
Nice.
My question is regarding Joey Styles. I'd love to see him come back, but do you think he could temporarily work as a manager rather than a commentator? Hear me out. His banter and chemistry with Cyrus the Virus was better than anyone. Imagine him as the voice of a faction squatting up to Don Callis' family. Well, Ian, that's some pretty good fantasy book in there. I certainly think Joey has the chops to do that on the microphone, but whether or not he would want to do that, I don't know. Hack, any thoughts?
You just answered it the same way I would.
Yeah.
Joey wouldn't want to do it, but if he wanted to do it, he'd be unbelievably great at it.
There you go.
He could do it, but I think he's more of a live off the cuff than a manager
He's a good baby
type.
straight. It's hard to be a guy like that and be a baby.
No,
True.
but I don't think he would be a great like baby manager because he's. I think his excellence was off the cut, like his off the cuff and his description of what was going on as an announcer.
Well, he did know that every single move that every single guy did, and guys don't even do that today. The guys that are doing AEW, they're doing 7 different moves, and those guys don't bring up one name of any of them.
Yeah, I think that was his brilliance.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Owen from Wisconsin writes in, "What's up, boys? Just want to say, as always, thank you for continuing the pod. It's the highlight of my week every week.
Thank you.
Now, I'm no booker, but after this show, I have to ask why Paul E. didn't do whatever it took to keep Francine in that leather outfit. I give it 5 out of 5 Shaws." He's talking about Holiday Hell 95. I agree with you, Owen. We talked about Franny earlier, man. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah, I had to text her.
Cheeks be peeking.
I texted her, I jerked off like 3 times.
Oh, God.
So just saying.
I love listening to and learning the intricacies and nuances of matches, and Hack talking about things that the casual fan wouldn't notice. What is something that is a small detail that can really make someone easy or hard to work with in the ring?
Small detail. If they're willing to listen.
That's it. If you're willing to listen. Okay. So
It's the most important one, too.
a lot of guys are difficult and don't want to listen.
Listen to me, I called all, I don't care if it was Austin, Cactus, freaking Dreamer, dude, I was always the caller. Always the caller, dude. You need to listen to me.
Well, Hack, does that go for like experienced guys as well, like you're saying, or is that just because
the listen, Bull, is my part too. That I got to be able to listen to them. Just being able to listen.
Because I know that there are guys that obviously don't want to listen, but there are guys that just like want to get their shit in. Like they want to get their shit in, so like they're calling spots to like get their shit in, but that's not as far as
I
like
don't
the
like it. They shoot me and I roll through the ropes and I go outside.
There you go. Change it right then.
Right. Like there are people that like want
treat them.
I got you. Because there's people that want to like just get their shit in and they're calling spots and you're like,
Nope.
dude, this is not what's going on.
Nope.
Owen
No,
also
I'll tell you when your shine is, dude. That's the way it is.
Owen also says, who is the most difficult person Hack had to work with on a consistent basis, and what about their work or style made them difficult to work with? Thank you guys again. Merry Christmas, happy holidays to you guys as we near the end of the year.
Thanks, man. Happy holidays to you.
Yeah, I never really had that problem having to, because anybody that I was in a program with, we were like, I'm crossing my fingers right now, that we were tight. You know what I mean? So I could that could happen if like when I left and went to WCW, and I'm going out there at the time that I worked with Rick Steiner, when the only reason I'm in the ring is to put him over and to bring Sting out of the back of the Jeep and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Rick Steiner's not listening to a word I'm saying there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
what level of you're at, what level of are they at, and it works either way. If they're my opponent or if I'm the guy who's the man.
And that's the difficulty part about it. You're just like, well, fuck it. I know I'm not gonna get it. Yeah, I know I'm not getting a fucking word in. Like, yeah.
Okay. Jack Haran, bartender at Sacred, writes in, "Hey, just started listening. Just wondering if Hack was a big fan of those Big Johnson T-shirts from back in the day."
Okay, Jack, I'm not a fan of yours because we tell people, where the hell are you from? And your bar, Sacred, whatever.
He said
sounds like a
Sacred.
strip club.
Yeah.
Much more respect for you if it's a strip club. So come back at me with something better next week.
There you go.
Where's Sacred? Where are you from? The whole detail.
Eric from Percy, PA, writes in, "Good day to Hack, Brian, and the Sons of Raven. As a Southeastern..." Nice. I love that. As a Southeastern PA lifelong resident, ECW was part of my childhood. Wrestling, watching, core. I was always a fan of Sandman, Taz, RVD, Sabu, and the rest. One of the guys I was most a fan of was Tommy Dreamer. Well, I was also a fan of Abula at 14 years old, but that's a story for another day.
Me too, brother. Me too.
My question to Hack is this: how was it to work with Tommy, and do you have any fond memories or stories of him?
No, come on, dude. Me and Tommy, we made each other. When I whacked him the 10 times, and I had Nancy there and say kiss my feet and all that, dude, we made each other's careers. So I got more respect for Tommy than anybody else in the business.
And that still goes on to this day.
Absolutely.
Ah, that's so cool.
He called me today. He just texted me before I got down here. He goes, "I don't know how I've been there. So the WWE they want to pay me to sign some shit. And every time they do it, they go through him and ask for my address." He's like, "I'm getting tired of this. This is the third time."
He's your
He's your liaison. Yeah.
He's pissed. He's not, and he goes, "And I don't even get a dime out of it."
Tommy,
Dude.
I know the feeling.
Some donuts.
Dude, he's been your liaison forever. You've been in like shows for how long? And I swear to God, Hack will show up and Tommy will just be like, "I have a case of beer. I have your cane. I have all that." Like, he just knows Hack's on the show, and Tommy literally just brings all the
like when we went up.
Yeah.
the Sandman accoutrement that whatever like needs to be done. He just like brings because he knows Hack's
The
a complete.
accoutrement. What was that on your monthly word of the day calendar?
It's his French he's
No,
learning,
I mean
man.
it's just
That's-
sophisticated speaking. Learn how to talk, bruh.
All right. Here we go. You ready for this, guys? This is going to be our last question for today. Hack and all the hardcore historians. Okay, doing my best to abridge the Armenian genocide, which I acknowledge I know nothing about. Here goes nothing.
1960.
So probably the key thing to understand about Turkey is that even today it is 99.9% Muslim. It's had numbers probably nearing that for a long time. However, as it usually is the case, small enclaves do exist that contain minority groups such as various ethnicities, religions, etc. In the Anatolia region of Turkey, a small population of Armenian Christians managed to maintain a stronghold. Although the Ottoman Empire were firm in control and would be until 1923, what is known as a millet system was in place at ancient times, which allowed religious groups that were not Muslim level of freedom and autonomy. However, because they were in such a small minority, they got shafted in a lot of ways, from legal matters to religious and community ones. At any rate, a few Armenian families became very successful and influential internationally, and that bothered the Ottoman majority, who were concerned that they might eventually gain enough prominence to betray the Ottoman Empire and form their own form of a city-state within Turkey. In the mid-1890s, the Armenians
Which we would have supported, just so you know.
No, I believe it. They tried to revolt on a few occasions against the Ottomans in regard to paying taxes and having protests, which turned into slaughters where thousands were killed. In 1908, the Young Turks came into power but became less and less lenient of Armenians and less adherent to the Ottoman constitution and the millet. By 1913, they become more of authoritarian and paranoid that Armenians were colluding with other foreign powers. By the end of 1913, the First Ottoman Empire were embarrassed in the First Balkan War and lost...
Well, it was the start of World War I, just so everybody knows.
Which, okay, he's getting to here too. Their response was to blame Balkan Christians, while the Armenians saw it as a chance to appeal to European powers to force the Young Turks to again allow them some form of sovereignty in Anatolia. The Young Turks saw this as treacherous and proof that the Armenians were colluding with outside forces to destroy the Ottoman Empire from within. When World War I began, the Young Turks sided from Germany and Austro-Hungary and tried to force all Armenians to fight for the Ottoman Empire. when the Armenians' political party stated that the Armenians would fight for whatever empire they were actually living under, Russian or Ottoman, the Young Turks saw it as further treachery and insubordination. In 1915...
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You asked for this. This guy brings the
I'm
heat.
done.
You're done?
I'm done.
Well-
I learned enough.
So, Hack, the long and short of it is, historically interested dudes like
Dude,
you...
hit me with Cliff Notes.
Here you go.
I want Cliff Notes.
History is always written by the winners. The Turks claim that it was not a genocide and that the Armenians were a threat to their national security. And then even those that were never ordered by the Turkish government. Ironically, other countries that dealt with Turkey on various levels also refused to call it a genocide. Hopefully that's enough, but brief enough to digest.
Brief?
Brief, Doug. I did my best to sort of cobble a few different sources together, but like I said, this isn't my period of history. Even in England during the time of Shakespeare, Turks were distrusted and disliked and portrayed as heels in plays and writing.
Always, everywhere.
Typically violent people who could not be trusted and were mercenaries to be hired to perform cruel deeds. It meant making money. I did my best. The Professor Doug from Orangeburg, South Carolina. Doug, thank you so much for all that. Hack?
No, good job, Doug. Next time, bullet points. I'm begging you.
Okay, that was...
Show myself.
He wanted to make up for it because you called him out
Bullet
last week, Ty.
And you could have came clean and said that you didn't know what you were talking about with the Oliver Twist reference last week. Tosh showed me the email that you did come clean and you said you didn't know what you were talking about.
He did not. Doug, you are the official historical expert of the Sandman podcast. That's a prestigious title. I know it's far more prestigious than whatever.
You're a doctorate now.
Yeah, it's a real official title. So thank you.
I was about to give him credit. I was saying he did come clean and with the whole Oliver Twist thing, and he came back with some great historical facts. So
henceforth,
you are the professor.
You are the Professor, Doug, and I yield. Hack, do you yield?
of course I yield.
Ty, do you yield?
I yield. He proved
Ollie,
himself.
do you yield? Ollie's not yielding! Oh my God!
Good job, Ollie.
Wow. You got to win him over. Doug, thank you so much, sir. As always, guys, send us in questions to sandmanpod@gmail.com. Like, share, review, subscribe, follow us. 1221 Suplex Vintage Wrestling, the t-shirt drop. But before we go, Hack, the cane of the week, or toast of the week. You thought you got me, motherfucker. You didn't get me this week.
I thought I did.
You didn't get me this week.
You were on a roll.
Hack,
Oh, dude, the t-shirt.
the toast
Is
for the
toast
t-shirt.
of the week easily.
Okay, any canes? You cane anybody?
Yeah, probably BG for saying what he said.
Okay, BG
I thought
for
you were
saying
going to
what
give
said.
Belichick the toast of the week.
Oh, a little UNC.
No, because I didn't see it coming.
Okay.
I just did not see that
I
coming.
did.
Jesus.
Oh, that's a very interesting one. Guys, next week, catch us for Saturday night's main event.
Peace.
Ain't it foggy outside?